Hey everyone, straight to it. I'm just here to pay my respects because I woke up into the news. Unfortunately, I'm probably a little late, but I just want to pay my respects to Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball. It, when I saw that this morning, I just couldn't believe it. I was kind of devastated, and it was it was the least thing. It was the last thing I would expect. The same thing goes with Kintaro, who created Berserk. The reason why I'm hurt by this is because, and I think I'm pretty sure millions more are just as hurt, is because Dragon Ball is special to them. I'm 31 years old. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's cats older than me that still enjoy Dragon Ball. Well, I am sure because I have a cousin that's in his 40, he ain't put 40, and still watches it. But I'm pretty sure there's people in their 50s as well. But I think the reason why Dragon Ball is so important for us in our childhoods is because we not only did we all grow up with it, I think all of us saw something special in the Dragon Ball series. I think we all felt motivated and inspired watching it, and that's why we hold it to such a high standard. And that's why it's so important to us. We seen the characters go through so much hell. Hell, they went through all of them even went through death at one point to achieve their goals and to stay on their purpose to save the universe. You saw in Dragon Ball Z, you seen what sacrifice meant. You seen what loyalty meant. You understood the importance of friendship. You understood the importance of love. Kindness. You seen the importance of giving your all, and even when you don't want to do it, kind of thing. I could ramble on about other things as well, but the first time I was ever exposed to Dragon Ball Z, it was in a low income area. I don't want to say outright say it was the hood or the ghetto, but yeah, I guess to say it was in the inner city. My mom's friend lived there. She was watching me one day, and I was friends with her twin sons growing up. Rest in peace, John. That's the name of one of my friends. He passed. One of the twins, he passed. But I remember sometime in the late 90s or early 2000s, we were just in her living room, and Toonami came on. The Toonami block came on during the afternoon. It was the summertime. And it was somewhat, I think they were in the Namek Saga, early Namek Saga. I remember it very well. And I just remember seeing the Ginyu Force just come to Earth. I think the Ginyu Force came to Earth. And I just saw, the first person I saw was Vegeta just eliminating the Ginyu Force squad like they were nothing. Just going through them. And then they played the next episode, I believe, or I might be getting two episodes mixed up. I can't remember, but I remember the episode. I remember it well. Then Goku arrives to Namek on that spaceship from the Capsule Corp spaceship, and he comes and gives everybody sensu beans. Gohan, Krillin, Vegeta, and then he just outright beats the hell out of Raccoon. After Raccoon just beat the heck out of Krillin, Vegeta, and Gohan. And ever since then, I was just hooked because I didn't see it. I've never seen animation like this crazy. Like I thought I saw the dark stuff and the gritty stuff watching Disney's Gargoyles, the later seasons of Ninja Turtles, and X-Men animated series. Even the Spider-Man animated series was dark at one point. But, I was already enshrined in the anime a little bit because Sailor Moon would come on. You could make fun of me. I think all of us watched it. We can all just admit it. We all, even guys grew up watching it. It was Toonami, man. They introduced a whole different block of, you know, Japanese animation, Japanese anime for us. I mean, so we had a lot to pick from besides, Dragon Ball Z and, Tenchi Muyo, All Our Stars, so on and so forth. But getting back into it, man, I was hooked. And with my mom and I'm not trying to, I don't want to outright put my mom out there. We didn't really have cable consistently in the house like that because it was so damn expensive at one point. So we were hotboxing a lot. And I'm pretty sure my mom's friend was hotboxing too. That's why we were able to get it. Because I remember here in Wisconsin, the channel for Cartoon Network was channel 57. But the point is, when that came on, I was like, Mom, we gotta get cable. When I came in, I said, we gotta get cable. I need to catch up on every episode for the rest of the summer. I remember like all the way up till, I think it was like 4 or 5 episodes later, they had changed the voice actors, and I remember them doing it. So, like, adapting, I believe the original dub I was watching was the Ocean dub. And they later changed the voices to the Funimation dub that a lot of us are familiar with now. And that kind of threw me off for a minute because I'm like, I like the Ocean dub. And then, like, when I got so hooked in, like, during the Frieza saga, when Goku first turned Super Saiyan, I was like, oh my God, this is it? And, come to find out later on in this series, it wasn't. There was way more. Even, like, it's Super, that's nothing. But, man, it hurts, man. It hurts a lot because I'm like, man, it hurts me personally because I'm just like, I grew up with this series. I know not the series isn't dead, but I'm like, the guy who created this, who left us with this magic, who left us with this, has finally ascended. Like, part of me is like sad, but the other part of me is like happy because he's giving, he left his legacy. He left us with inspiration. And I'm going to be honest, Dragon Ball, I think it brought a lot of us together. I mean, in a lot of ways, even like when I was later on, even in high school, like, guys were still watching it. A lot of guys I was on the football team with, they might have been athletes, but in their hearts, they were nerds. And I think all of us are nerds, and and that's like why I don't really gatekeep like that in the community. Like, when people are just now saying, "Oh yeah, I'll watch anime now," I think honestly, spiritually, all of us are into fandoms. We're into, anime. We're into, shows based off of superheroes and series and stuff, comics, manga. We all are. And what I learned being on that football team, a lot of those guys just say, I'm going, we used to talk crap in the locker room, like, I'm going to go Super Saiyan 3 on you on the field if you don't get it together. To keep motivating us to, help us dominate and succeed even though our football team sucked. But the point is, we see that inspiration, as a 31-year-old man, when I feel like I'm at my worst, I, give into my inner self, and, I just feel, I give myself the strength to bring myself up, even when I'm down. And you've seen that with many of the characters. You've seen it with Goku and Vegeta, and Gohan and Piccolo, Tien, Krillin, Yamcha, Trunks, Goten. You've seen it with all those characters. When they were at their worst, they still didn't give up. And you see the Dragon Ball Z DVD. I like that set. I know a lot of people will debate and say, oh, the Bruce Faulconer music, that wasn't true to what I understand in the 90s, 80s and 90s. It was their goal to get rid of the music, the original Japanese music, and try and get rid of most of the Japanese references and stuff. I only like that because I can change it between hearing the Japanese music and the Falconer music. I'm not gonna deny it. I love it. It's a childhood staple. But I've learned to appreciate, watching Dragon Ball Z in its original form as best as I could. I watched it in Japanese at one point when I was in high school. I think I made it all the way up to the Android Saga in it, and I just couldn't watch any more of it because I think the site I was watching it on before streaming took over had didn't have all the episodes available. I think the site was shut down. I don't know how I lost track of it, but yeah, when I remember when I was in elementary school, you guys know my mom was a teacher as well. My mom worked. Excuse me. I'm not trying to let you guys know too much about me, like this is therapy. But my mom was a single mother, and she worked a lot. During the day, my mom was a science teacher, high school science teacher. And then she also taught night school, from time to time. But part time, she also worked as a lab tech or a phlebotomist. I'm not sure which one, whatever they call it. The other, and the other job she had, I'm not too familiar with that. Even though I worked in a hospital at one point, I'm not familiar with that, so bear with me. She also worked at an after-school program, CLC. It was mostly for kids that were in the inner city and stuff. But I remember there was a student that used to be a part of it. It was for kids that were elementary all the way up to high school. But I remember she had a student that was always in the computer lab that was a part of that CLC program, and I would go to the computer lab every now and then and say, hey, what's up? His name was Larry, by the way. But Larry, well, he was also, I mentioned him before in my other video when I was giving respects to E3. He was also into the fighters as well. He was a fighting, he was pretty good at fighters, but he was also an artist. And I would always, if I went up there, I always hung out with Larry. And I remember one day, he was watching Dragon Ball Z. And, I was so used to the, Rock the Dragon theme from the, Falconer music from the Funimation dub. And, the Ocean and Funimation dub. But when I was there, I saw it, I was hearing some, music in Japanese when I first walked in. And I was hearing the Chala He Chala thing. I'm like, I never heard this before. And I was watching it with him. It was through QuickTime video player. And I was like, I didn't know you like Dragon Ball Z. He's like, oh man, I love Toonami, but he said I can't wait no more for them to, finish, editing episodes in English. So I'm gonna have to just watch it in Japanese. And I don't know how he got, what site he went to, but we were just sitting there watching it, watching it together. In Japanese. That was the first time, and it was sometime during the Boo. It was sometime in, no, it wasn't the Boo Saga, because they changed that theme. It had to be the Cell Saga. I want to say it was the Cell Saga. We were just finishing up the Cell Saga, but hearing that music, I was like, huh. And then later on, later within that year or year or two, I can't recall. I remember hearing them play the same theme in the Dragon Ball Z Budokai thing. So I remember later on figuring out they really did change the music around a lot. And I was like, I like Chala He Chala more than Rock the Dragon. It was one of the, I want to say Dragon Ball is also the first, exposure to, Japanese, pop. I want someone debated it's not a J-pop song, but whatever. Next to Puffy Amiyumi, who did the dub for who did the dub, but did the song for Teen Titans. I guess I'll show these as well. So I know a lot of people will say, well, them is old and outdated, nobody wants those anymore. I had these as a kid, but I ended up buying them back later on because I think I lost them or something, but this was the very first Dragon Ball Z figure I could get. I actually had. I actually have. There was a Goku a kid that had it at school because he used to bring it to school. Bring his Goku to school all the time because he said it always gave him motivation to get through testing pop quizzes. I think it was sometime in third or fourth grade. But like I felt bad for that kid because someone had ended up going in his backpack and stealing it. He used to show me all the time like why it meant so much to him. But this was the first one I had. I don't remember what happened. I think I might have gave it to another kid who wanted it really badly. But this is the first one I remember, and because I loved Super Saiyan 3 a lot, hearing that Bruce Falconer music, that was epic. I don't care what nobody say, but this was the very first one I had. I remember getting it at Funko Land. Um, like I said, I bought it back later on, but like this figure means a lot to me. These three, because I had got these when I was a kid. They it was the only thing. It was like the closest thing I had. Yeah, I know people say, well, the Jackson, the Irwin figures, they not all that special. They old and outdated. And yeah, they are. They are, but they mean a lot to me, and that's why I collected them. And I just it. I don't want. It's not an end of an era for me, but like it does. My heart did stop for a minute when it's all hearing that news about Toriyama. I want to say too, like I'm not here. I'm not here to debate or anything or say anything else. If it wasn't for Toriyama, I don't think a lot of anime artists would have had done what I think a lot of anime artists and sorry, excuse me. I think a lot of manga artists follow suit from Toriyama. I'm not saying he was the godsend or anything, or he was the main. He was the main reason why. But I think a lot, not just Japanese artists and manga artists. I think American artists too. Even like with the animation we got here in America, and even like some of the shows we have gotten inspiration from Toriyama. They've gotten inspiration from Toriyama with the super ascending into Super Saiyan. I think that played a part in a lot of even like with some of the American comics we have now. Like I think that's played a role into it gave a bit of inspiration to everybody. And that's all that I guess I'm here to say. Besides Dragon Ball, I was also exposed to Dragon Quest and Chrono Trigger as a kid. I really I didn't realize until I got older, like he did the artwork for that as well. As well as Dr. Slump. I never really watched Dr. Slump like that, but I know he did that. I know that a lot of people hold that in high regard too, over in Japan. But yeah, I I can say that regardless, his legacy will mean a lot to everyone. Now he's gone. It'll mean a lot. It means way much more, and a lot of people will hold it in more high regard than he was held before. My son, the reason why this is out right now, I know a lot of people say yeah, Orange Bricks suck. Yeah, they do, they do, they do. But I don't care. My son pulled this out my closet when he was running through my closet one day, and he asked Daddy, "Can you put this in?" He didn't know how to put it. He doesn't know how a DVD player and a VCR player works. He now knows because he's seen me do it so many times. My son, when he's in here with me, like he likes to put on movies like Jurassic Park or Space Jam and Dragon Ball Z. Like he knows how to use my DVD and VHS player. But we'll watch it together, and he'll just sit there and just be in awe and amazed by it. Just not long ago, we was watching Super, and he was just like enthralled in it, and I'm glad that I can what Toriyama has done for me, most importantly, I feel like he's helped me bond with my son a lot better. Besides, doing what I'm supposed to do, doing what I'm supposed to, most of my responsibilities as a father, being able to sit down and watch things that I, enjoyed as a kid and seeing him enjoy, it means a lot more to me than anything. It means more to me than what it actually meant during my childhood. Being able to re-experience those things with my kid. And my son is only 3 years old. And the fact that he gets inspiration from watching Dragon Ball Z, and he doesn't even probably know much about anything yet, what the reality for our life, our lives as adults really are, says a lot. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, Super, anime in general, video games, all our favorite fandoms, it's more than an escape for us. We're looking to achieve something and go beyond the distance with the stuff we do. And that's why I created my YouTube channel. I felt like I didn't reach my full potential. I did what everybody else said you should do. Go to college, get a college education, get married, have a kid. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I love my life. I just wish I had more time. I just wish I had more time to create content. But I wanted to release I felt like I wasn't living up to my full potential. And that's why I created YouTube. That's why I started talking about gaming, because I love this stuff. I love gaming. I love anime. I love manga. I love comic books. This is what I love on a daily basis. This is more than an escape to me. This is how I made friends. This is how I, was able to persevere through life when things got tough. And all I'm saying, man, is that seeing this happen, it hurts. But we all know that, Mr. Toriyama has succeeded in every way before he passed, giving us the hope, giving us the inspiration, and to, live up to our full potential and not hold back, even when we are, going through it. The man died working on his craft. I respect that more than anything. If you want to go out, I'm going to be honest, like, if I go out, I want to go out knowing that I was working and, living up to my full potential. And he succeeded in every way. That's all I gotta say, man. If you are ever going down, if you ever feeling down, like you didn't, not living to your full potential, or you hit a rough spot in your life or anything, I strongly suggest, watching Dragon Ball Z, watching it, or other anime where you see the characters are going through struggle and unlocking their new potential, unlocking their potential. Whether it could be other anime like Berserk, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, hell, even Pokemon. I can list off a whole bunch of other, but I'm just going to go by with 3 right now. Man. But other than that, this is all I got to say. I might have rambled a little bit in the video, but, this is what Akira Toriyama's work meant for me. And I'm not going to hold back, expressing how I feel about his legacy and his death. So if you new here, I strongly suggest you like the video, give me a sub. I appreciate that as well. I'm not asking for money or nothing. I just want more, a bigger crowd, but a bigger following. But that's all I ask for. But you know, this video, it was just me just being genuine and expressing how I truly felt. You know, if you feel the same way, you know, tell me how you feel in the comments below. What, you know, Dragon Ball's legacy meant for you, and yeah, you know, Toriyama's legacy, all his work. Just tell me what you think about it in the comments, man. I should have probably put myself together a little bit better before putting the video out, but I don't care. But yeah, I rambled on too long. I'm about to end the video. You guys have a happy Friday, and a good weekend. You know, see you later.